Okay, Chris. So we're on the main site, kidsknowit.com, and I'm going to start going through that really quick. Let me transfer over to the right one and inspect it. So we have a 404 status not found right off the bat. Failed to load resource. So I'm guessing it's this Flash video. Also, the Kids Know It network is overlapping this, which you can see is if I go to the main page on the old site, you'll see that it's probably still trying to load up here, but you can see how it's organized over on the left side, and you can see that that's clearly not the case. The sidebar is all off. This stuff should be fitting very well. There should be arrows, and this should be stacked like that, whereas we have all of these things just kind of overlapping each other and the things behind it. But as we move forward, if I click on free educational music, it should take me to our educational songs. You can see this doesn't look very, it just doesn't look very well put together. Whereas if we look at something like this, you can see it's much more put together. I can see how they all attach to each other. And on your guys' site, we're not seeing any of that at all. We're seeing just looks like it's all lumped together. There's no styling whatsoever. Whereas over here, we can see all of the styles that are surrounding it, plus the player. So that's going to need to be fixed. Our next thing, if we click on movies, excuse me, already it's taken us to HTTPS, which is exactly what we don't want. So we're going to need to make sure that that is fixed. Yeah, it took us to all movies. Let's see, free podcast videos. This one looks like it takes us to a site that has, so on the video podcast, it looks like we are all over the place with this. Let's see, on our old site, we can see that it's nicely put together, at least in a way that looks a lot better than what we have here. We don't even have next buttons or different pages like you see here. Last page, we don't have any of these buttons here. None of the styling is the same. It all looks like it's unclickable. Yes, we're going to need to change all of this. Let's see. Let's look at our funnies. Okay, this actually looks pretty good. Look at the previous week just to make sure everything's in line. And it looks like this up here and the URL. I don't know if that's the way that it should be done, if it has a title. It just looks different than we see educational comics, and then it starts to go backwards and has a different URL structure. Let's go to the Space Dome. And it looks like all this stuff's coming in well. Good, good. Let's see. Doesn't look like... Nope, can't click that. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure. All right, now let's go to the other main pages. About us. Looks like we have a failed GIF showing up. Something's not loading in here. And also, I keep seeing on these inner pages, this sidebar is just overextending the content boundaries, which it shouldn't. It should stay inside, just like we see here. See how it stays in there. So we're going to need to adjust that. Let's go to our mission. Again, The styling needs to be changed. I know that on this one, on our old site, we can definitely see once it loads how it's much more consistent of a styling than what we're seeing here. Let's move on to our story. Again, just mixed typographies here, like different sizing and whatnot, whereas on our site, at least on the regular site, at least it's all consistent. So we'll need to make sure that that's all made accurate. Let's go to our advertisements. Again, it's not too terrible, but it's still different than what we see if we go to here. This is just consistent across the board, whereas this again is different. Let's go to how can I help? Again, not bad, just different styling. Should look like this. Again, not too far off. Contact us. This seems to be okay. Let's go to homepage, make sure everything's there. Let's see, these all go to the right links. Looks like we're doing all right here. Okay. These all link out to the correct sites. I know this just goes to kidsspell.com instead of it says spelling games. So I'm guessing that should be going to the kids spelling games section. So those are okay. It's no posters. I know this is going out, but it looks like it's going to the old site instead. I feel like there should be, if I click on this. Wait, did I somehow get back? Oh, because I click on this. Okay, so it looks like this is taking me back to the old site instead of keeping me on your guys' new site from the contact page. So let's see if I can get out of here as there's no top. Let's just go back like this. And let's just, okay, cool. Now that makes more sense. Make sure all of these are lined up. Okay.
Let's learn about the animals.
Okay. Okay, so it looks like, at least for Kids Know It, that seems to be the only issues that we can find as of right now that we missed before. So again, all of these issues that we found, you know, these are things that that we pointed out in the past that we just need you guys to really push through and look at each one of these pages individually and look at the sidebar, the footer, the header. Make sure the links are going to the correct things. Go one by one, because it seems like every time that I do go one by one, things seem to change and certain things seem to not get pushed through. And so on this last push, we really, you know, act like this is your website and make it right, fix these links. And I think we'll be in a good stance after that. But we can't have it where I'm pointing out now in videos exactly what needs to be done and going through every link, and we shouldn't have to wait for weeks at a time to get a response. It should be every day taking care of this, taking care of that. And just like this sidebar, this was mentioned weeks ago, and it's still not right. So every site, everywhere, sidebars, everything. If we come over here and we go to music, astronomy music, let's go ahead and plot this through. So it looks like it's bringing up at HTTPS. I'm not quite sure why there isn't a music page under your guys' server. It should be that I should be able to type this in and it doesn't take us to an HTTPS. And I should be able to find all the music, and it shouldn't be linking me out if I'm already on this page. Just like biology music. This is going back to the old site, so we should be seeing, I do HTTP, and we're not. So we're gonna have to make sure that all of these links on the sidebar are going to the pages that you guys migrated to and not the old site. Because if I'm clicking on one of these pages and we're going to the live site instead of what you guys migrated to, that's really not going to help us too much. Because if I go to here, we can see that we're not on the correct site, whereas here we can see this is in the the WordPress field. So we're going to need to make sure all of these are going to the correct site. Okay, well, thanks again, and please make these changes as quick as possible, and I will talk to you tomorrow, hopefully, if you can get through digesting most of these. So thanks again, Chris.